and many others, you name it. So we are looking for many people in that category to join the program, and it's funded through the tuition incentive program. Yeah, the program provides an amazing opportunity to develop essential skills needed to be part of one of the fastest growing healthcare fields in the US. I think as you might have known, recently we had this great outflow of people moving from the state for this particular program, and I was really looking forward to presenting it so people can learn more about how to, to legally carry out the business using this shortcut of the program. The program, ideally, if you went to school, is 1.5 to 2 years. But for some reason, the state has given us this funding to as a fast track to the program. 6 months, everything is online, and you become a counselor, which doesn't happen always. So we don't even know how long this funding is going to be. So we want as many people as possible to join the program. I lost the slide. Yeah. Yeah, so TIP is worth $3,200 of tuition support if you sign up for it. And of course, terms and conditions apply, but the terms are really not as hard. It's easy to meet. All you need to do is to be living in Los Angeles County. You have a driver's license or an ID, United States ID, and you have a GED or an equivalent of a high school, or you could have a bachelor's degree or any kind of study just to start with. So, yeah, okay. So the goal of TIP is to expand quality employment opportunities that build upon an individual's unique lived experience while increasing the availability of registered and certified SUD counselors who can support effective long-term recovery for those affected by substance abuse. What this means is that actually our target could preferably be people who have lived experience. You could have a family member. You don't have to be a drug addict yourself, but you could have a friend or a family member, or you're working in the same, it's working with substance or substance abuse or addiction. That's lived experience. You know what it means. You've seen them. That's a qualification for you to take this program. So for individuals who apply and are accepted into the program, we will cover enrollment and tuition registration fees, provide linkages and support to ensure student success, connect you to a variety of SUD treatment agencies to complete practicum requirement. So as I said earlier, when the slide disappeared, once you consider to this course, the TIP will cover all the requirements that you need to complete the course. The only thing the TIP won't cover is the certification fee, which is at the end of the course. We teach you, you go through the whole system education, but at the end of it, I think in most cases to qualify to work in most of the fields in the United States, you go through some exam process. We don't cover that part, but it's not a lot of money. It should be, I think, about $300. And the reason they put it there is they want to see some kind of seriousness in the candidate, that once you complete the course, you're able to actually pay and sit for the exam yourself and achieve. So the application process is this, as you can see. You complete the TIP application and confirm that you can provide a copy of high school diploma as I said, it's not only the high school diploma. It could be a bachelor's, it could be a GED, any sort of kind of education that you have, equivalent of a high school diploma, at least a high school diploma. So after that, you go through some kind of interview. The interview is just to reconfirm what you applied, the form that you filled out in the first process. So the interview is kind of reconfirming what you already filled in the format. And then once you go through this stage, then we send you acceptance letters to say that congratulations, you've been considered for this program. And then the next step is the enrollment, which is if you're accepted, you will need to submit all enrollment documents to start the program. So proof of whatever you informed us earlier, the GED, you must provide proof, and that's the hard copy or whatever. You could send it by email, but you must have this in your possession. And you must have your driver's license or ID. You must also have your, what else did I say? Yeah, the copy of your driver's license, your diploma, and you must live in Los Angeles County. So once you provide, and also, which they didn't mention here, is a COVID vaccine card. You must be COVID vaccinated and you must provide proof. It doesn't have to be, the many, boosters and stuff like that, but you must have a COVID card to present that you took the vaccine. That's a requirement without which you cannot enter the program. And then the program starts. So the cohorts for this year, this is where we are. So those who applied in August, September, October are already moving. As you can see the dates, but we still have one more cohort. There's another one, the December. That's not the end for this year. We still have one more in December, sorry. It's not reflecting here. But we have another cohort that is coming up in December. So if you applied now, you could be considered for the next one in December. Yeah, so the eligibility requirements is as follows. I already talked about them, so I may not repeat it. So the COVID, the government issued ID, your GED and diploma, and you cannot be currently registered or previously registered counselor, first-time registrants only. So the aim, as I said earlier, is to increase counselors in the system, representation. So if you're already a counselor and you have the certifications, then you don't qualify for this program. So we are looking for new people to join the program. Yeah, and by that, the accreditations in the state. So once you're in that system of the accredited bodies, you just don't qualify for this program. So you must be new to join this program. So it's kind of new career, if you want to say. And this is how the program goes. That's these are the requirements. I mean, this is the program overview. This is how it looks like. So it's a 6-month program. It requires minimum of 10 hours of coursework per week. So you must dedicate at least 10 hours in a week so that you stay in the program. By that, it means you have to submit coursework, just like any other education system. So it doesn't matter what time you do it, if you want to do it at night or wherever, whenever you have your time, just do it and submit the coursework when it's due. Yeah, and it's 8 total courses, and the first one, the SUD, the Substance Use Disorder 100, is required to assist students success in the program. So what this means that the SUD 100 is mandatory. You must do it, you must complete it in order to continue in the program. So it gives you the overview of the program. By finishing this course, you know already whether you want to continue or not. So that's why it's a must. And the courses are offered online. That's the beauty in this one. It gives you the chance to study at your own pace. You don't have to go to school, like, in person. Just sit at home and do your studies and just submit The thing is that I think the government put this in place just to make it easier for people to earn some kind of education in this field, in the simplest way possible. So you need total hours of 255 supervised hours required. That's the practicum hours. So the practicum hours means, for example, if you're already working in a substance use or addiction or any kind of behavioral health organization, then you could use those as your practicum hours. It saves you a lot of time going to look for another agency to do your kind of externship. It's required because you do that alongside the coursework. You do this alongside the other courses, without which you can't complete the program. You need those 255 hours. They made it easier, but also this is like a catch. You must do it. This, by 255 hours, I think you need like 10 to 11 hours a week in addition to the first 10 hours. So it's 10 plus 10, say you need 20 hours a week to complete the course. So we assist, Tarzana Treatment Centers assist with the internship placement. So if you don't have anywhere to go and you need Tarzana to help you with that, we do that. You just say it in the beginning when you're filling out the form that you need assistance with externship, and they will do it for you. So the beauty is that you're already working in the system. You're studying at the same time you're working, kind of working. Even it may be paid, it may not be paid. So our internships is either paid or not paid. If you're lucky, you get either of them, or you can continue doing your paid work at the same time doing, like I said earlier, at the same time doing this. Yeah. So this is how the program looks like. Introduction to Addiction Theory and Practice. So this is kind of gives you the overview of the addiction. That's minus the SUD 100 that I mentioned earlier. So the actual education is actually this one. The other one is to introduce you to the addiction and drug abuse course to see if you really want to continue. Once you pass that 100, then you start this one. You start this one. So Introduction to Addiction Theory, Theory and Practice, Physiology and Pharmacology of Alcohol and Other Substances. How does alcohol affect your system? Why is it addictive? Why is it a problem? So this is all here. Then the law and ethics, how to deal with this field. What the do's and don'ts fall under here, the ethics of the program. Then case management and patient navigation. How do you deal with the patient on one-on-one? How do you handle somebody? You just don't come and say, hey, you're drinking, so you need to stop. It doesn't happen like that. It has to be a mutual kind of agreement. The person has to be willing to actually change their lives. You just can't force them. So we train you in all this. Then we have the individual, group, and family counseling. In this one, so say you have one person who is suffering from this SUD, then the family members sometimes the families actually reach out to help their relative or friends. So how do you deal with that? How do you go through the family to help somebody get out of addiction and drug? And personal growth and professionalism. What's there after completing this course? Are you gonna is there like a expansion? Is there can you grow? You learn about all this in the courses. Your next steps, you might want to do, maybe you want to become like addiction, you want to do addiction like on its own. Or what do you want to do, generally speaking, after this initial course? You might want to further education in that course and, for more, experience. Yeah, so supervised practicum, I said that already. So the supervised practicum is what I just said. If you need it, we do place you, or if you're working already in the system, you have your supervisor already who is doing it for you. So just like any other work, you need to be supervised that you're really doing this because it's a requirement for you to complete the course. Then the fieldwork and practicum internship. The fieldwork is now you're going to meet the people like face to face. Like you might be sitting like we're sitting here now, and the counselor is sitting here and talking to, the people. Could be maybe a group of 2 or 3, could be a whole room, it could be one person, but the one-on-one is what we're talking about here. That's the field work. All right. So these are the accredited bodies. We have the CADIS, which is the California Association for Alcohol and Drug Education, and in conjunction with the Addiction Counselor Certification Board of California. We have the CADAPT, California Consortium of Addiction, and we have the CCAP, California Consortium of Addiction Program and Professionals. So these are the accredited bodies for California. If you finish the course, you must be registered by these to practice as a counselor. And once you do, everywhere you practice in California, everywhere you go, they just look you up and see that you're certified. You're a certified counselor. That's very, very important, because in most cases you may not be employed without these 3 bodies certifying your professional, achievement. It's a must. Yeah, and once you're certified by these, actually you can have your own business. For example, I won't go into the details, but you could have your own like SUD, DUI, these kind of things. You can start. You have this certificate. You can open a DUI agency, for example, dealing with the government and help them in the process of identifying and helping people under DUI. You can also maybe open a group home and start the same because of this course and counseling. I think that's all. And we have more courses at the Tarzana treatment centers. We have the project Open Doors. This one for people who you don't have a high school diploma, we can help you get a high school diploma. That's very important, because everywhere you go, before you proceed with any courses, you must have some kind of education. But if you don't, we still do it. We still help you get it. So we have the peer support specialist program. This one, that's with lived experience. Like I said, it's similar to the SUD, but this one is more shorter. It's not a lot of requirements. All you need is just be, a peer. You've been there, you know what it is like, and you want to help. That's all you need. And we have, and it's just the peer support specialist is a shortcut, and it gets you into the counseling business as in just a duration of 3 weeks, and you start. And the pay is good as well. Like from Tarzana, I think a peer support specialist starting salary is like 24 per hour. So I think it's a good one to start before you do the SUD. But you cannot do both at the same time. It has to be one. So I already talked about the TIP, which is the Tuition Incentive Program. That's the money that sponsors the SUD. Like I said, it's a $3,000 available for grabs for those who are interested. If you want to do the substance use, you must go through the TIP to do it for free. But if you also want to pay for yourself, it's $3,000. We take both. So you either go through the TIP, do it for free, or you pay. It depends on where you qualify. So we have the peer personnel, support personnel, the PSP. We have, this is like a family That's the bigger one, in addition to the peer support, but this one is family oriented. We have internships. Internships are a great opportunity to get into behavioral health because you may not have any experience, but once you're there, normally our internships is up to 6 months. So 20 hours per week, paid or unpaid, and you're in the system, you practice. I started as an internship at Tarzana, and then I got the job. Yeah. Any questions?
Yes. So, testing. Is it on? Okay. Thank you very much, Lydia. So, as we did with the first presentation, we'll go online and see if there are questions there, and then we'll also take some. We already have 2 questions lined up, but let's first make sure we're not missing anything online. So I'm not seeing any. If you have questions on the online, please feel free to put them on. Okay, so Lydia, questions, you can take them in whatever order. As far as the behavioral health and addictions, from what you know, what's the success rate? Do you have any data on what's the success rate for people going through the counseling for addictions or dealing with addictions?
You mean like people who come for counseling?
Yeah, so let's say alcohol addiction or, yes.
Yeah, we do have, of course we do have relapses, but also the success rate, I must say, is like maybe 80%, because by the time people come to our program, they're ready to change.
Wow, 80%, that's very high.
Yeah.
I'm not sure anybody knew that. Okay. The next question is, you talked about it has a good starting pay, but what's the job prospects look like in the future? Is it a field that, if you can speak to that, that would be helpful.
As we already know, the substance use disorder field, addiction, drug, is a fast-growing field in the United States. It's one of the healthcare entities that is growing as fast as I think the other healthcare systems. But this one, because US is suffering from lots of drug overdose, it's becoming a huge problem to the United States, and they're trying as much as possible to put a lot of funding into this program. So it's going to grow really fast, and it's actually growing right now very fast. By maybe the next 5 years, the pay or the demand for addiction counselors will have maybe tripled. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Looks like I missed an online question here, so my apologies. So let's go ahead and get to it. So actually, as you know, we do have folks online out of state as well. So somebody said the addiction problem is obviously not just here in Los Angeles, but it's all over the country. And this one mentioned in their state, actually, which is Vermont, is the highest. And so there's a lot of need for help there. Are you able to do a presentation like this to folks who might not be in Los Angeles, maybe online, out of state?
Yes, we can do that. I can work with my coordinator, and we can have it. We can have a presentation for others, but our focus right now is Los Angeles, because that's where we're getting the grants from at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But the good thing is that the study is online, so somebody in Vermont might do it, but they have to maybe at some point live in LA to use, because in different states, the certifying bodies are different. So we have, like in Arizona, I saw they have a different one. In California, we have different, in other states, so they're not the same. What you can do, maybe once you get your certification in California, you could easily transfer it, because California, I think they consider our education as high, as better than most of the states. So once you get this one, it's easier for you to transfer to another state. But the other ones from the other states, it's not easy for them to bring it here to California, because I think we tried that and it doesn't work.
Thank you very much. I think we also have another question here from Jackie.
Yes, I wanted to know what a typical cohort is like. Is it usually like people who basically don't have a high school diploma and then they try to get the diploma through you and then continue this? And basically talk about what type of entrants enter this program and what is preferred, or if there's any preference.
So the first preference, which I think is going to change maybe next year, is you must not be a counselor in the first place, because we were looking for people who were new in the field. That's the first and foremost. But as regards to we are not looking at only high school only, because we have so many people who have masters, who have bachelors. But they're giving you the starting point that at least you must have some kind of education to begin with. You cannot just be from nowhere and start doing this course. You must have at least, I think, in the United States, a high school diploma can place you somewhere to work, without which you cannot. So, but if you don't have the high school diploma, that's where our GED comes in, the Project Open Doors. It helps you get the GED in order to enroll into the program. But it doesn't matter what qualification you are. We've had so many people change their career. Actually, it's another way, if you're tired of your career, to just jump into this one. It's fast track. It's just 6 months and you have a profession, which doesn't happen so easily. In most cases, you have to go to school for like 2 years minimum to become a professional in a certain field. But this one is there. They've cut the 2 years to 6 months for you to gain this course. It's really interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let me bring the mic over to you. One more question.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lydia, for this presentation, and I would like to thank MWG for this wonderful workshop. Working with young people, actually, I'm so pleased that you have this theme, because we are having the same theme in our presentations to come November 25th. So I get a couple of questions. One, you talked about the peer something.
Support specialist.
Yeah, that's for 3 weeks, if I had very
3
well
weeks,
understood.
80 hours, yeah.
And when you were trying to explain it, you said that it's kind of like those people who have been there, and they're trying to help others.
Yeah.
So does that mean if you haven't been there, but you had people around you who have been there, do they allow you to be part of it?
Okay.
Two is, you talked about that as the starting per hour pay could be around 24. What about the sub? If you go for a sub, which is 6 months, what could be? I would like to thank MWG for this wonderful workshop. Working with young people, actually, I'm so pleased that you have this theme, because we are having the same theme in our presentations to come November 25th. So I get a couple of questions. One, you talked about the peer something.
Support specialist.
Yeah, that's for 3 weeks, if I had very well
3 weeks,
understood.
80 hours, yeah.
And when you were trying to explain it, you said that it's kind of like those people who have been there, and they're trying to help others.
Yeah.
So does that mean if you haven't been there, but you had people around you who have been there, do they allow you to be part of it?
Okay.
Two is, you talked about that as the starting per hour pay could be around 24. What about the sub? If you go for a sub, which is 6 months, what could be your ideal starting pay? And also, you talked about if you're a counselor, you're not allowed to do that. Somebody can be a counselor in their own country. Let's say I was in Uganda and I was a counselor, and I would like to join this. Am I eligible to be part of that? Or you have to be a counselor in America or certified in America just to be that. Two is, because they are trying to fight substance abuse and everything, does that mean somebody has to be sober? Is that a requirement for you to be part of the program, or it doesn't matter? I think, yeah, that is it for now. Thank you so much.
I hope I remember all those. But yeah, to be a peer support specialist, you don't have to be using drugs per se. But you could have a friend, I'm sure we all have been there, we've seen them. Yeah, you could have a relative, or even a relative's relative, or a friend's friend. That's an experience because you've seen it. We've seen how drugs affect people. At least most of us have some kind of experience. So that experience is enough for you to join this course because it's a requirement. You're a peer. You want to provide peer support. Recently, we had some business that I won't mention, but that business, everybody who has been in that business, that's a qualification. Everyone, that's a huge qualification because it's a lived experience. You've seen them, you've been there, you know how they act, and you want to help. You know what not to do. Those kind of people, that's what we need. So your second question was the pay for SUD. I think it's around 28. Of course, it's pretty a little bit higher. Plus experience, if you have the internship experience, the externship, maybe you work like for a year, the more experience you have, the higher the pay. What was the other one? Oh yeah, if you're a counselor, if you're a counselor outside, it doesn't matter for as long as you're not certified by these 3 accredited bodies. So once you're not under CADAPT, CCAP, or CADIS, you qualify to be, to do the course. But that requirement might change as of next year because we've had many people wanting to do the course, but that's kind of like a drawback because they can't do it because of the certification. So the Department of Health is working on changing that requirement. So most likely it might change next year. What was the last one? Or 4 questions? Oh, I think that's all. And I have we have lots of flyers that I would have given out. Can I go on with my slide? I have flyers I want to share with you. I can show you how they look like. So this one, I talked about it. If you're interested to pick it. These are the programs that we have. I'm going to give out the flyers to the coordinator, Jackie, if anybody's interested. And also we have them in soft copies, so she might share so we have, I'm going to talk about each flyer. We have this one, the Ubuntu Rising Scholar, I think. This one is for justice-involved people. For example, you've been incarcerated, you've been in prison, you've been, anything incarceration, and you need help. We place you, we get your employment, could be job placement, could be substance use and mental health support. If you need a counselor, we do provide that. We do provide primary care and food banks and stuff like that, and housing at the same time. So this is a good resource that she might want to share with you guys. And then I didn't talk about the slide, Jackie, the slide of peer support, but feel free to share it with everybody. So this is the substance use disorder counselor certification program flyer. So this is important. If you're interested in the course, just scan the QR code and you'll get into the system and just apply. What What else do I have? So we have the medical peer support. Actually, the peer support program is sponsored by Medical. So if you're interested in the peer support, this is how it looks like. Yeah, so you can share it, Jackie. Do I still have 2 minutes? Yeah. So we have the mentor. This is now the treatment of the drug. We do counseling. So the treatment. This is the medication addiction treatment. So when you come to our program, it's not just coming there. We go through lots of processes in order to come clean. And this is the process, the medication for addiction treatment. This is it. Yeah, it involves detoxing, medication, and by the time you finish this, you don't want to go back to drugs. What else do I have? I have medical. So the tip.
And while Lydia is doing that, please get her contact information as well. And you're always free to contact her and reach her as well. So if you feel like you're not remembering everything, that's totally okay. She's more than available as well.
Yeah. So this is the tuition incentive flyer. If you're interested, you just scan the QR code. The information is here. And you could get more information just by this to attend our informational session as well. So I think I've gone through most of the programs that we offer at Tarzana Treatment Centers. So before that, people used to think Tarzana was only mental health, just mental health and addiction treatment. That's what Tarzana is known for. But the college is recent. I think it's growing really fast. We are getting more and more people. So our outreach program is to sensitize or to inform more people to join the program. This is a $3,000 course that's available for anybody to study and gain something, something more clean, professional, in the professional field of addiction and drug abuse. 6 months and you become a counselor. So if you're interested, please feel free. You have all the information with Jackie, and as you've seen, you can contact us through all the flyers. Feel free to share the